Welcome back, everybody, here to the FACEIT Dota2 Invitational. I'm TobiWan, joined by Purge, as we are back for our second series of the day. We already kicked it off. We had a bit of a warm-up in our first one with Vega taking it out over Ad Finum. And now it is Alliance going up against Liquid.
This is going to be a pretty amazing match, and I know there's going to be a ton of fans watching, arguably the two biggest brands in all of Dota, and they're starting off in a best-of-1. So Alliance, we've seen them a moderate amount leading up to this. They have a lot of different players playing on the team, different roster than we expected going into it. Maybe expecting some Alliance changes, but not that big. And against Liquid, they had two swaps.
I don't think anyone expected RK and Lotus split. Like
yeah,
that was
well,
like
yeah.
that's the breakup. That's like saying like Brad and Angelina get like break up or
everything's hitting us in 2016, guys.
Yeah,
it's been a tough year.
It's days of our Dota right now. But Alliance, they definitely got something to prove up against Team Liquid. Liquid, even with their changes, like you almost say the changes are for the better. Mind Control, I was watching his gameplay last night. He is still 100% in the money. One of the greatest offlaners in the game at the moment.
Absolutely.
And Kuro's drafts are always really, really on point. Like I know we've both heard Blitz talk non-stop about just how smart Kuro is about the game of Dota.
Yeah, and Boba is the same thing. He's maybe had some issues adapting to support. And there's been a lot of players actually maybe taking more support roles lately. Some of them can succeed at it, others will fall short. But Boba has consistently not quite hit that mark just yet. Although
he's got time and he's got great teammates to help him on the way.
Yeah, I know the overlay's not covering this. I'd just like to shout out to Kenbone. That's Boba's picture down there. That's his real name. Something like that. Yeah, he was at the politics thing. He was at the debate. He's very famous. He did an AMA. Okay. It's amazing. You should read it. Honestly, amazing AMA.
Link me to it after this.
Search Kenbone AMA. You will find it. It had like 10,000 upvotes. It was like the most upvoted thing I've ever seen. The guy was on point. Very funny. So, anyways, let's talk about Dota.
Yeah.
Nothing about scandals. Liquid's going to open with an IO. Definitely something both teams can play. But I would argue that Liquid seems more consistent with it at the moment, at least. Maybe that's just due to them winning more often. Alliance is going to go for a Batrider Disruptor combo. So potentially glimpse back whoever IO brings with him. And Batrider can get some good 1v1 matchups. You know, some fun when he was on Ninjas and Pajamas. This is more of like a 1.5, 2 years ago thing. Amazing offlane player. I really like this guy. I think he's looked a little inconsistent right now, just because maybe too long playing pubs, not enough times playing scrims in the last year or so. But I have a lot of hope for him. Hopefully he's going to get his stuff together a little soon, because genuinely I think he's an amazing offlane player. I really like watching him play. But I don't have a lot of faith in him just yet. Perhaps Batrider's more of a comfort pick in that sense.
I hate to tell you, but the numbers are against him at least. Like, while these two teams haven't faced each other with these rosters yet, if you actually go back through the matchups of at least the clans, so Liquid versus Alliance, Alliance haven't won a best-of-3 against them in a very long time. The last three major best-of-3s they played was ESL1 Frankfurt, the Manila Major, and the Shanghai Major. Every single one was either 2-1 or 2-0 going the way of Liquid.
That's not fair. You're taking stats from the last year, and Liquid has been one of the top 3 teams in the last year, and Alliance has had some very inconsistent results. They haven't really been top of the scene since TI3, where they're absolutely dominant for a while. Absolutely, by far the best team. Arguably, pretty safe to say, Alliance at their peak was far better. They were by far the top juggernauts of the entire scene, undisputed. And Liquid hasn't even hit that mark during their stretch, even though they were consistently top 3.
Yeah. At the same time, there's only 2 of those players who still now remain in Alliance from that original roster that dominated everything.
Also a good point. So, a lot of early game stuff here for Alliance. Both Disruptor and Ogre Magi have very amazing laning stage. Ogre obviously for tankiness, and Disruptor, great level 1 nuke and good ranged animation. So there's the potential of Alliance abusing some dual lanes here. Liquid could do the same with an IO, but it's more straightforward where he's going to go, and not as good at ganking as well. So
you actually wonder about like who exactly the IO is meant to be a combo with. Like if Kuro has something up his mind, like you pick up a Faceless Void.
I like that.
That's like if it was like any other team, we might think actually it's still a 1-position role, but Mind Control is so good on that Faceless Void that it's probably going to be his.
Dude, Mind Control is good on every hero. I'm pretty sure that guy is genuinely amazing. Definitely top 3 offlaners in the world right now. Yeah, it could be IO Faceless Void. They have some cool combos. You could time walk forward, then tether to get the guaranteed slow. Kind of a cool little interaction. Extra movement speed and attack speed is obviously great on that hero as well, because more chances of bashing.
Ooh.
Ursa pick, though, that's a good one. Like we saw last game. Ursa just does more and more and more damage. So even if Faceless Void heals off half of his HP halfway through the fight, as long as Ursa can continue chasing, he will kill Faceless Void.
Mm-hmm. But that's if you can keep chasing. At least, like,
Yes.
yeah, there's no glimpse. Like, the only thing is, like you said, like before, it's like you got Oracle and Io, you got extra movement speed, but beyond that, Chrono is the only primary controller out there.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Kura's going to need something which is a lot better going up against the Ursa, which means sustain, it means kite.
Something AoE team fight could be really good too.
What are your last two cores? Like, with your last two cores, who's your big AoE team fighters? Like, Puck's still in the mix a little
and
bit.
even that's a little iffy because Ursa will eventually buy BKB, and then you're
Yeah.
like, oh, I wish I didn't have a Puck. That
So,
sucks.
so what have you got that goes through the Magic immunity and can survive against an Ursa?
Well, it doesn't have to be Magic Immunity. Obviously, he will buy BKB, but it's more about setting tempo in the early mid game. I would say.
suppose you've still got Miracle in your lineup. Like, the Invoker is in the pool.
Invoker can be really good. Some things like Ice Wall, Tornado, Deafening Blast can be great. The Enrage can purge off the Disarm, I believe. Yeah, it should be able to. That would be one solution. But so yeah, Invoker could work. Might be limited until later levels. Yule Scepters can be really effective. Just generic AoE disable, but it's got to be a core. That's the problem. They've got both of their supports, so now they're a bit limited, and that's why Liquid kind of put themselves in a corner here. They grabbed their supports right away because they looked perfect. Oracle counters bad. Io gives you huge movement possibilities, but then Alliance can just pick the core that counters Liquid's third pick, while also having its counters be disables. And best disables are usually picked through core or through supports. So it's a pretty good draft here by Alliance. I actually really like it a lot.
What do you actually think about Hanskin actually being in that captaincy? Because he's now got the reins. It's not Loader, like as a lot of people might thought. Like he would try and take the reins.
I mean, most experienced player, or Loda has drafted before, but I think Hanskin is very capable. He
was the draft for
talented.
NIP, right?
I believe so, yes, and I'm sure he did it at times in Cole, even if maybe Swindles was the one pressing the buttons. I'm sure they've done a group kind of thing. It'd be stupid not to be honest, if somebody has captaining experience. So I think Hanskin's very capable. I think he's a very good player as well, so I have full faith. Morphling's a good pick, though. It's a hero that has many escape options against Ursa.
Yeah. And natural E-Blade builder as well, too, so which is going to really cause problems for the Ursa.
Either E-Blade the Ursa or E-Blade whoever he's going on. Usually the Ursa, obviously. Unless he's has used Enrage, then use it on him.
Yep.
Yeah, Morphling's a good choice here. Fairly survivable. The only downside is he can be killed by Disruptor. Disruptor is very good to prevent him from morphing or waveforming away or ulting out. But past that, it's a pretty darn good pick. Survivable against most of these heroes. Doesn't super solve the Ursa problem, but if Ursa kills your supports while you kill their supports, that at least is a trade. And that's something that Morphling can definitely provide.
Morphling's normally a lot quicker at killing off the supports as well. Like, unless Ursa gets the amount of farm we saw in the last game.
Yeah, after last game, I was starting to disagree, but like 2 hours ago, yeah, I would have definitely agreed with you there. So last pick for Liquid here. This is going to be most likely their offlane, or I'm sorry, their mid hero. There's a potential of putting Morph mid, obviously, and then Void mid or safe lane. You could have an offlaner. They got some tricky stuff up their sleeve, potentially, but they got to pick first either way, so Liquid should be revealing their lanes any moment. Of course, we're looking at who Io's going to pair with. Probably Faces Void so far, or the mid hero.
I wonder if they just go like full out aggression kind of style.
Like
what are the old school things? Like you can go with like what Io Tiny, if you can bring that back.
I think they should be worried about their early game right now. Oracle's pretty good early. Io can be good, but he's got to get some successful ganks off. And then again, we're limited by Chronosphere cooldowns. Void's slow ramp up, and then they have really bad damage sources, actually. Morphling's a decent carry for that, since Waveform is low cooldown, high mobility, that kind of thing, but they're definitely lacking some damage right now. They need probably something like early mid strong, even like, okay, so they are gonna change it up a little bit. They might force a 1v1 lane here. They could put Beastmaster versus Bad. I don't know if they necessarily want to do that, but they may. Alliance could force it.
You could throw Beastmaster, like put Void back to that one roll, morph mid, and then Beastmaster off lane.
But that's a lockdown potential against Ursa. Really good, actually. He can roar no matter what, and he can just put the boar on him, and that solves all your problems, especially if Alliance just can't deal with the boar, and they don't have that much AoE. Normally, if you just have a AoE-heavy lineup, it'll just die in the fight. Nobody even barely has to focus it. But if that boar stays alive and it just keeps pinging the Ursa and limits his movement speed and prevents him from blinking, man, it can win you team fights so hard. So this is a great pick.
Can they even really shut down the Beastmaster? I was a little bit worried with Alliance having both Disruptor and Ogre. They could really punish on the safe lane, but Beastmaster, he doesn't even have to stay in the off lane.
Yeah, he doesn't. He can just jungle. If he does go there, it's scary. Definitely because of Glimpse, and the boar is a little scary as well. But with Ignite and as much damage as Ursa has, and if Ursa gets in melee range to cast an Earthshock, you've got plenty of slow here, I think, to kill the beast, especially with Glimpse. So he's going to definitely go jungle. That's clear if he is in the offlane position. So I think Liquid's pretty darn happy with this. I think this is an absolute perfect pick. And TA for Alliance. It's okay. I'm not sold on this hero lately. I think people have been kind of desperation picking it a lot last, but it is very good against Io and pretty good against Oracle as well. So you can just jump in with Blink Dagger, blow those heroes up in 2 or 3 hits if possible, and then get out. But if you get initiated on, your hero's pretty limited, especially because of Chronosphere. You're not good against Morphling, really. Morphling's pretty much always, at almost all stages of the game, except for like 15-minute mark, he's going to be better than you.
The second I saw the TA pickup, I instantly just thought, okay, this is Alliance doing like classic Alliance things, like you kill off Roshan, you go for an objective. Having the early meld combining up with the Ursa, you just don't play for the late game, you just play for that earlier timing, and the TA, like if you have momentum, everything should be fine, right?
It should be, yes. And that's really where TA kind of either wins a game or gets completely stomped. Does her 15, is she strong by the 15 minutes mark? Can she 2-shot supports? If she can, it should be straightforward, right?
Yeah, hopefully. Well, let's get into it. So game number 2 of our day is coming up. Of course, we do have more games coming your way. Secret versus Escape is next, with OG versus Empire wrapping up our day. Same time, same place, same bat channel for all 3 of our days today.
Some good
for this
games.
Tournament. It's terrific. Like already having Vega versus either of these teams is a fantastic start to tomorrow.
So they're going to start off sitting near the top rune. They could potentially play something around this Lotus scouting out, just to see if anybody's placing observer wards for the super easy D wards.
Did either of the teams actually smoke? Because this is the first time in a very long time I haven't seen a single observer ward in that mid lane.
Yeah, I'm going to actually agree there. It's possible.
Oh, here's Alliance smoking now.
Okay,
Are they invading?
This is like next level. Everybody smokes level 1, like you just said. So now they're gonna stagger it a little bit.
They're wrapping around the back.
Exactly. Their opponents might not expect it, but Ogre's gonna get spotted right away.
Koro's in the best position, but it's like, what do you do now? He starts moving. They throw out the ignite. Koro tethers down over towards Bulba, but he needs more movement. And there it is. Bulba actually gets a little bit more space, but Loda with the movement speed. He catches up, buying those early boosts, able to close the distance. Now Alliance, they get both of the bounty runes. Batrider and TA getting that.
I love what Alliance did there. The delayed smoke was amazing, and they sat their 4 heroes top the whole time. While Lotus scouted by himself, they didn't reveal that all of the heroes were sitting there in a clump. And as they did approach this, again, Loda going for level 1 Earthshock. I've seen him do this before. It's a really good movement. It does tons of damage. It's 5-second cooldown. You can cast it 3 times at level 1 as Ursa, and with this Boots mobility, he just chases down whoever he wants. And they're doing this aggro dual lane thing to try to limit the farm advantage that Liquid's going to have. So now Mind Control has a free lane, but he's expecting versus Batrider. Not a good matchup, but against a dual lane, this sucks for him now.
Yep. And we're watching the middle lane a little bit more closer at the moment, with Koro and Miracle getting forced back. Hanskin was so much, like, almost bravado, walking straight past the tier 1 tower in mid, trying to force Miracle back out of this lane.
Oh man, Koro's getting punished so hard here. And he's got 200 gold away until he gets his bottle as well, so almost out of regen.
It's kind of sad for him too. Like you pick up something like that instead of getting a sentry ward down. It's the obs and the sentries, which are all down for Alliance in the mid. So even if TA wants to do it, like I haven't seen it in a while, but like meld dodging abilities.
He could, yeah. But we probably won't see anything that's worth dodging. Just auto attacks from both of these heroes.
Yeah.
He's going to go all into Refraction and Sideblades most likely, and they're doing a really good job pressuring this lane, especially with Thunderstrike. I mean, Miracle has decently high armor, but low HP, so nukes are quite strong right now. And right clicks as well against both of these heroes. It's such a hard dual lane. Morphling IO versus a super ranged disruptor.
And if Kuro had his bottle, then I'm fairly certain Miracle would have made the dive onto the TA.
Yeah,
like even at the tower, like that waveform damage, there it is. You got the hit. Io is going to find the kill, so Kuro finds the extra cash while up on top lane. Unison farm forced back underneath his tier 1 tower. Bulba and Matumberman forcing an issue there.
So that's a huge mistake from Hanskin that he ended up dying there, and that's the scary part. At some point, if they do both choose to go on you, TA's just limited in what she can do in comparison to what Morphling does. It's the power waveform, man. Great right clicks and a nuke that also repositions your hero. So kill on bottom.
That's slow. Combining Ignite as well as Earthshock, Mind Control. He can't survive for that. EGM will have to commit the last little Fire Blast.
And the boar. Those jerks. That's a huge kill. And Mind Control is still level 1, by the way. If he was just jungling, this would have been better. So the lane swap has worked out really well for Alliance here. Obviously, that death on mid was very costly considering how much they were owning that dual lane, but the kill on bottom is going to make up for it.
That was how much they were delaying the bottle more than anything else, because I kind of feel like you're enabling, you're enabling a lot of MMR right there in the mid. Like if you can bring Miracle to bear as that Morphling, you've kind of already, like Kuro knows he's already done his job.
Yeah, that one kill is huge, and that gives Io level 3 now also.
Loda's still having the time of his life. Like, it's amazing you've kept a Beastmaster in 3 minutes under level, like he's under level 2. Like now he's managed to pick it up and they initiate down, and this is one of the reasons why. Mind Control knows if he comes in close, he's dead. He buys a TP scroll, accepts his fate. He'll still have to wait 20 seconds before he can even TP back into the lane.
Yeah. EGM knew he was so dead, he was just slapping the boar. He like casted his spells and he's like, alright, time to farm. You got this, Loda, no problem. And that's the reality. Beastmaster doesn't have a way to stop Ursa from killing him. And he picks up a Ring of Protection now, basically being like, God, I wish I had an Iron Talon. I could be almost level 4 right now. I could have like 20 CS. Instead, he's just getting absolutely punished in the safe lane. This lane swap was actually so brilliant from Alliance. I only said that because I'm in the UK, because they say brilliant way too much here. Did you know that?
Really?
Oh, yeah. They say it all the time.
I never noticed.
They instead of cool, they'll say brilliant. That would be
I'm
my
okay
word
with that
equivalent.
because brilliant is a much more
Oh,
sophisticated
yeah.
word.
It's a cool word, but I'm just pointing it out. They say it, I would say, maybe not too much, but they say it often. How about that? It's a fact. Look it up. Or go to the UK. You'll see.
Is that like the fact like all Frenchmen say baguette 20 times in one day?
That's probably racist, but I'm not sure because I haven't been to France.
I've actually never been to France either.
Hey, that's clear. It's really clear, Toby.
I've cast many French events though. I did ESWC for like 4 years in a row.
But it wasn't in France? It was
No,
somewhere?
because that was like
Was it China or something?
that was like Dota 1 days. And,
Oh, that's right. Didn't get paid. Didn't go to lands. I gotcha. Only 2 slots, and Toby's a bigger caster than you, so if ever you tried to cast a game that was good, you actually couldn't cast it. I know what it was about.
Hey! That's cool.
There are many
cool.
times I was sitting there with Vlad, be like, oh my god, I finally get to cast a really good game, and then Toby shows up and he's like, slot please. I'm like, God, you suck, Toby.
Hey, it's not my fault. You can always just join Dota Commentaries.
I could have, yeah. Or I could have, started casting like 3 years prior like you did, so it was fair.
You gotta get in early, man.
I'm not salty, promise. Oh, Crow could be in trouble here.
Nah, with a tether away, unless they can get the glimpse.
Ooh. He had to time that perfect. It's only level 1. He had to hit it like almost right away. Perfect timing.
With the high level glimpse though, with the Observer Ward in mid, they've got a lot more room to punish.
It's tough. It depends where you are in your right click. If he's already at the extremities and then he tethers and he's gone.
Mind Control. EGM found him. Mind Control has to cut through the trees and get out of there.
That's
and he
tough.
still gets the ball.
Like that's what's so good about this dual lane. He can't even trade with an Ogre Magi. He's got 8 armor and tons of regen. How does he even think he can do this? He can't. He's got 1 CS. This is like the most shutdown I've ever seen Mind Control. And this guy's genuinely an amazing player.
He's just got no other option. Like EGM is underneath the tier 1 tower. Like this is a support.
Yeah, that's
zoning
Ogre.
out of 3 position.
Oh, he could
and
kill him
because
here.
Mind Control wanted to stick around, he doesn't want to bend to the will of EGM, Loda will come in and slap him down.
That was so perfectly done too. Instead of backing out, he just ate the tree next to him to step out of the way. Like they're both absolutely dominating this lane. Miracle in trouble?
That's a lot of damage. They're going to glimpse him back over again. Kuro. Miracle did have the waveform to get out of here. And with the wall up, Hunt can make sure that Limp can get back safely.
They played that real safe. And that was a cancelled TP by Bubble here, so Batrider could be in trouble though. May have to Firefly.
You still don't have Chronosphere off from the Tubberman, however. So you can't really fight. And even if you do get the Chronosphere up, like, can you fight into an already Firefly Batrider?
Depending. He used time dilation really well there. I do like that he grabbed that skill early against Napalm. Not quite that leveled anyways. That was actually not that dangerous for both parties.
Man, this is a great start for Alliance. Like, I know we're only 6 minutes in, but I'm just looking at the CS. Like 41 for Loda, 26 for the TA. We talked about Alliance being, like with this draft, like you want to have a good momentum. Like,
they've got it.
Yeah.
They've got everything they need. I mean, Liquid should have advantage in the mid to late due to Relocate and Chronosphere team fight abilities and Oracle. There's so many good stuff about that, but Alliance is doing exactly what they need to. They got to win their lanes. And I think 41 is greater than 1 in terms of last hits, I'm pretty sure.
I would agree with you.
I'm going to do math on stream. Did I already say 41 times greater?
Oh, Hanskin. Can he TP out in time? The damage, barely enough. That was starting to wind down a little bit, but again, they catch a break. But the only 2 kills Liquid have got so far is on that Disruptor.
man. Time dilation is so good in this case. It guarantees that Batrider can't stack. At least while he's trying to kill him. Oh, he might get him still, though.
Yeah, he may actually kill Matumba. The Firefly, Matumba had no way out. Bobble was a little bit too far away and couldn't help. I'm not actually certain exactly where Bobble went to, but it's possible that the Alliance Observer Ward scouted him out, which is down near the Radiant Secret Shop.
Yeah, kind of looks like he went either maybe to heal, because he was a little bit lower on mana. I did miss where he was leading up to that, but yeah, he had to be there. That was the only way that he ends up keeping him alive. So, you know, some fun with a really good soul kill. It gives him level 6. So yeah, with just 1 point in the time dilation there versus Batrider, if he starts to go on him, he can cast it. It's a 3-second cooldown on Napalm, and it lasts for 8 seconds. So if he casts it right after the Napalm is cast, then it guarantees that the stack will break. So that's why he felt safe doing that, but the Firefly lasted long enough that he could chase him afterwards. That's pretty cool. So small pause here. Nothing too weird, just a little disconnect there by Hanskin. He's probably just upset that he's 100% of Alliance's deaths, most likely. He's like, damn it, if I just hadn't died twice. He has been stacking Ancients, by the way.
I think he's still fine with that. Like, if anyone of Alliance could have died, you're okay with it being the Disruptor.
Yeah, or the Ogre, but, you know.
But the Ogre can't die. Like,
that's actually impossible. He's been under the tower. It just doesn't matter.
Yep.
The tower doesn't want to attack him because the towers are so traumatized by all the Centaur players lately. They're like, if anybody looks strong, just don't even. I'd rather attack creeps.
It's funny, like I said, because we're looking at it and you're saying, you know what, this Beastmaster still makes a lot of sense for Team Liquid. Like, you need to have something to deal with the Ursa. But like, how do you even predict like a lane movement like that from Alliance?
Well, you could look at the Disruptor plus Ogre and maybe anticipate something like that. Just they really have done such a great job.
Matubberman's jumping in. Bulba dropping down very, very low. Unison Farm still wants to finish the job. He might have enough as now, well, Batrider will find the kill, but Faceless Void gets one in return. Not too bad considering Faceless Void now has his Chronosphere up, but it's game of trades. Now you've lost Roshan.
So that's negative. Yeah, losing Roche is not good, but that did give 466 gold there to the Faceless Void, and Oracle lost the gold.
Mind Control's dead again.
But he had boots, so.
It's just feeding, like, Mind Control came over to see what he could do about Roshan, but they just had to get up on the high ground. The ball couldn't slow down Loader enough, so Loader gets up, and then it's a straight glimpse back to victory.
How could it? He's got Mask of Madness, Phase Boots, and Bloodlust already. There's nobody that's this mobile right now in this game.
It's a big thing to also point out, like we touched on it before, but I don't know if we've had more people tune in since then, but with the invites coming up very, very soon, like even small victories like this, it could tilt the decision. Like, is it Alliance or is it Liquid that deserves a direct invite? Like, if Liquid lose in the first round here to Alliance in a convincing fashion with a good draft,
that could change it.
It brings in a couple of questions. We were talking about this as well before we started the day. Like, the effect of what happened with Fnatic turning up to ESL 1 Frankfurt and losing in the manner that they did.
Right after having such great performances at ESL Manila, I believe. Nice dodge by EGM here. Maybe they can kill Miracle?
He's pretty deep underneath the tower, but Kura's got the extra heal. EGM's going to drop. Hanskin's not healthy. Miracle ready to go again. 2 seconds. Silicon waveform. He needs to get away from Limpy. Waves in. Chasing up after Hanskin while Matumman on the glimpse. It'll cancel the TP. Brings it back into the Chronosphere. Miracle's still alive. Limp's dropping down low. They burn through the refraction charges. Miracle is still kicking. But Tolman arrives at the right time.
The right time is an understatement. What a perfect time there. Absolutely would have been a kill.
And now they're going to relocate heal, so they actually even more on the efficiency. Relocate not having to be used in that entire engagement.
Oh man, what an amazing Chronosphere there by Matoma, man. Completely changing the swing of the game. That should have been a dead Morphling with the nice waveform dodge there. But then the glimpse back, obviously, ensuring that Morphling was still in that fight. But what a chrono. And that's what you got to do. Every time your ult is off cooldown, go somewhere and get the Chronosphere down. Got to get those kills.
That's more of the danger zone that Alliance have to be careful of. Like, proper kills come in the way of Miracle. Kuro being able to have an influence in the fights. You're still a long way ahead when you look towards the Ursa, but this has to continue. Blink Dagger up now for Loader. We'll see how he rotates. We'll see what openings he can find. Did he actually buy that from the... Yeah, he bought it from the side shop, so it should just be a straight jump in.
He was on cooldown.
Okay.
That's a dead hero. I don't even want to watch him die. I just feel bad. He's such a good player.
Hey,
5 deaths.
Isn't this the time when we bring up the conversation of diminishing returns?
It's reasonable. I mean, oh, you only got 383 gold for that. Maybe you should have just, I don't know, killed somebody else. Probably. I mean,
well, he's looking towards Kuro now. Kuro's managed to jump himself back into the mid with the Ignite. Loda just swipes and slices. Almost 400 gold for that one, but Miracle gets up to EGM, manages to catch him out. Loda's still on the run. Matumbaman, time dilation. They do actually have that lockdown for Loda. It was Bulba helping out with that with the TA traps. They can't slow him down. They burn through the Aegis Immortal, but do they have enough to do this all over again? Limp is waiting. Do they try and fight this? A time lock on Loda. The nuke damage from Bulba will do the work with the waveform forward. Hanskin, he can't really help out here. The last two is dragging Bulba down, but it's just Bulba. You don't care when you actually have a triple kill on Miracle. The question is, can you get Miracle out? He's got 10 one charges. He was baiting them in. He looked like a wounded animal, and Alliance, they fell for it, but now their foot's caught in the trap. Mind control into the tree lines, but again, nothing of value will be lost if he dies. The bigger value is Limp in the trees, and Miracle, a mega kill streak.
They're just absolutely winning team fights now. Such
They've
a
got
rough
Chrono.
start, but
They've got Chrono! He can just go in on this one. They go for 2. Mind control's burning, however. Underneath the Batrider, Kuro's now on the run.
The drums
Do they
helping.
still actually have the damage with the waveform? Drums won't help you out that one. It's a double kill for Miracle. What's this? 6 kills, almost 7 kills in the space of 1 minute. And Hanskin, he'll drop. It's Matumbaman who finds this double kill. The Thunder isn't enough to kill off Kuro. Bulba's there to help out. And Alliance, the advantage around the window, and Loda! Okay, this is the true spirit of YOLO right now from Loda. And Matumbaman's going to look for all the RNG to lock him in. Where is it? There it is! The bash. He tries to enrage to break free, but they're right behind him again. Of course, it's flying up with the Oracle nuke and the balls from Io. It is beyond a disaster from Alliance. It is an avalanche going the way of Liquid.
they were so far ahead, but every little skirmish has just been absolutely disastrous.
Look at the graph just to prove it. Look at the swing.
I'm scared. Oh, God, they had a 6,000 gold advantage, and now it's finally in Liquid's favor. That's the power of Io. They weren't able to kill him consistently. He was healing people up. Morphling as well. Just so hard for them to kill Morphling. The one hero they can't deal with super well on Alliance's side. And just one by one, they kept trying to get double kills and all dying at the end there. Time Dilation doing amazing work, especially in that last fight. Both Ogre and the Batrider thought for sure they could kill 2, but they're both very reliant on their low cooldown skills, and all they had was right clicks. It just wasn't enough.
Why does it feel like Alliance are the fish to Liquid's hook? They're going to come in for another fight. Kuro tries to relocate out in time, but won't happen.
I mean, they finally get a kill here, but I swear, 2 minutes ago max, I looked at Miracle and I was like, wow, he's doing really well. He's 2-0-1 or something. And now he's 6-0-5. That's like danger territory. That's like you're playing a pub game and the highest MMR in the enemy team is 6-0-5 on a carry, and you're like, I'm about to lose in 10 minutes. Here it comes.
EGM can't even attack
the
Loda. They've got the movement speed. Miracle's going to get glimpsed back, but Loda's on the wrong side. They pull him into the storm. This coordination from Alliance doesn't really seem to be right. As Miracle is just going to replicate himself out to safety. Something's not right here. And Mind Control, oh, man, you really are Alliance's punching bag until you can be broken free. He doesn't have his Roar up at the moment. In fact, it looks like Unison Farm as well as Mind Control already threw out their major abilities.
Ooh, he's trying to flame break back the Face's Void. It's going to be so close.
Matumba's got Chrono.
He should have this. Okay, they have Vision too.
Yeah, Fortune's End's flying up. So they time Dilation into the Fortunes and Unison Farm. The nuke is there to help out too. So Faceless Void, what is he now? Is that 4-5 kills in the last
4,
like
1,
3
and 6.
minutes?
They're all in such good positions. And even Mind Control's caught up now. 2 whole assists. He's level 7. It doesn't even matter that much if he's that shut down, because really the big thing is having Roar in the team fight and having the boards for slow. So with as many times as he died, Liquid just needed to win those mid-game skirmishes, and they did win them.
Alliance are coming again. Like, I know we said they're a team of momentum, and they have to get momentum, but is this pushing the envelope a little bit too much? Hanskin's holding on. He actually doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, so he just puts up the wall, which holds Matumbaman in position. He'll actually time walk into the tree line away from Alliance. They cannot reach him there. And he just waits it out. There's no TA trap being planted.
And she TPs to the lane because she said, we're losing fights. I need to be at every fight now. But TA is just such an ineffective early game hero in some ways. If your opponents have any mobility advantage over you, they're just gone consistently. And Alliance didn't really have enough disable for TA to pay off early. Maybe Limp shouldn't have shown up to those fights, finished farming the Blink, and then show up so you can two-shot supports at crucial moments. But Limp's just really far behind now, too. Only 2 kills for him. The net worths are pretty much equal on the graph. Alliance is a little ahead in the fact that Batrider is ahead of the 3 position on Liquid, and he will eventually get a Blink, but Alliance has got to be a little worried right now. At least they've got a Roche coming up. That's one thing going for them.
That is the best thing for them that can come up. And it's pretty safe to go for Roshan. With the Bat Rider around, you can put a whole bunch of TA traps, you can prepare the pit nicely and be in and out before Liquid can reply. But this kind of moment, like 15 minutes in and you're coming in to defend the tier 1 tower on top. Hanskin is 100% dead. And they make sure that Miracle gets the kill. That's now 7 marks on his... Well, I don't know, you can't mark his hull.
Well, he has a whole lot of kills, that's for sure. Maybe he just... maybe just like takes a memento from their death and throws it inside the mass of water. Who knows? It's probably weird stuff like that.
He takes a piece of water out of the body of every person he kills, makes it part of himself.
Oh, what if he took like a cup of blood from every kill and then he just...
What slowly becomes more red as time goes on?
Really creepy and like...
Ooh, wow, that is one hell of an immortal idea.
I don't know how you're going to animate that without like getting banned in China, so there's no way they're going to go with that.
You call it like the blood jewel or something.
But does that mean Morphling a Bloodstone is back? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Toby? I do love the Dragonlance build that he's going. It's really effective. Normally you're expecting like Lincolns into E-Blade, but with the IO backing him up, just increasing his attack range, his base stats means that he has this buffer window of survivability while still having really high damage. It's a really cool build in this case.
It seems kind of nice as well if you go into the later portion of the game, if he ever wants to complete up a Hurricane Pike, if Loader becomes an issue.
Yeah,
like
that could work.
He can also push him away, so it's something he can build into but doesn't need to.
Yeah, or like after he gets glimpsed back into a static field, he can maybe force out before the kinetic field solidifies.
Do they actually have double Lincolns? Like, Matomaman's already finished his.
Yeah, they're going to have double here, and that's going to basically be...
That's nullified
Lasso,
Bat Rider.
Yeah, or Glimpse.
I'm almost waiting for, like, Matomaman to give his over to Miracle and just, like, say, okay, Miracle, go ham. Like, you've got all the protection in the world. Alliance gets lucky. They also had a double damage room, but Liquid, they seem to also understand what's going on. Like, they had a Beastmaster Hawk over the pip. They just take the tier 2 tower on top lane and trade.
Yeah, it's just not worth it to move across the map. If you just don't get the perfect Chronosphere and you lose the fight, then Alliance will still get the Roche anyways. So it's just safer. Take map advantage by killing more towers, and Alliance gets the Roche, and they can have that. Just got to win the next couple fights. Lincolns are going to help with that. And that's why I like that build so much on Void. Like, compared to last game, if you buy a Vlad's, it's semi-comparable damage to what Lincoln's does. It's in some ways better survivability, and you get it much faster, obviously. But the mana that you get out of Lincoln's, the increased mana pool, is actually also pretty beneficial. Not that there's any mana drainers, but... And then obviously stops a disable. You don't have to deal with problems with so-and-so having a certain skill that counters you. Lincoln just covers you in that way. And you just transition from build to build.
Do you almost try and overcompensate? Like, you pick up something like a Lincoln Sphere, do you now need to, like, get a heavy damage dealing item out from the Faceless Void?
You can. You don't necessarily have to. I mean, we saw Shadow go this build at TI, and he just relied on the luckiest bashes I've ever seen to just consistently... It was basically an Abyssal Blade, something like that. And he's already got damage that way. That's what Time Lock does. It's 25% chance for 125 magic damage. That's a decent nuke, especially considering over the long term how many attacks you're going to get through.
And if he's able to get something like a Diffuser Blade as his next item, he's got even more time to attack and get those hits in.
Exactly. It's more about buying yourself that time, really. And obviously Chrono is still important and all, but having the sustain to just consistently be able to farm and take team fights is really good.
It's Alliance smoke maneuver time as they are coming on the hunt on the back of TA finishing her Desolator. I say that when TA is not involved in this hunt. So they're trying to use everybody else apart from the Templar Assassin.
That's not bad. Definitely one here that can catch up. I mean, they've got the damage without it. You've got Ursa. You don't need to have TA in the area.
Does this actually almost feel like Alliance doing more of a warding mission now?
Partially. I think it's slightly greedy for them to ward the enemy jungle. I don't think that's a place that Liquid would necessarily spend too much time, just because the tier 1 tower's already gone. They had Roche advantage. That's the closest to the Alliance tower. I mean, Liquid is going to want to spend a lot of time in the Alliance jungle, actually, and you can tell that based on their warding. They've got 2 wards here, placed pretty deep. That's the place where they're always going to be. So Alliance doing a smoke into the Liquid jungle, I think, is a little too predictable. Although they do have to move in there aggressively occasionally because they have to worry about Beastmaster Hawk. So it's just kind of a hard situation now. Despite all of that pressure they put on Mind Control, all he needs is a little Hawk, and it forces Alliance to smoke every time. Kind of kills their Bat Rider advantage in a lot of ways, because he should be able to initiate well.
Yeah. But unless Bat Rider's got even more money on him, he's not going to be able to really get... Well, he can't get vision of the Chrono. Farm getting caught out nice and early. Miracle, can he bring in the damage? They really want to find that kill, but Loader jumps into the middle of him and limp! There's the big hit. They finally bring down Bulba, but Loader He's going to fall too quickly. Miracle is just way too powerful for them to try and take this fight. Limp's being kited out by the double boards, which is still down by the Beastmaster, and that's where the fight goes north. The Beastmaster will drop Limp, finally able to blink himself over. Miracle, no waveform for the moment, so Hanskin can live in the tree line quite safely. And in fact, okay, maybe he can't. The relocate's coming over. Kuro's coming by himself looking for this one.
Close.
Miracle can go out of his well, but we can follow the balls if we want to.
He's got him.
Damage! Oh no! Limp's actually doing it. Kuro will find Hanskin in the tree line, but Limp has managed to find 2 so far. He wants to catch up to Miracle, but Miracle strength morphed and TP'd out. Will be able to survive, so Limp gets something back for Alliance.
It was not terrible. That's 3 dead heroes, 3 for 4 there. He used the core is actually very equal gold change. Actually, the biggest difference is a massive amount of experience going to Liquid there. That's what they really profited from. Most of it going to both IO and Morphling and the Faces Void. So the IO one there, that's the big one. Maxing out his overcharge, more HP to hopefully die a little bit less, and the fact that he stayed alive for some of those kills means he got gold in a very crucial second, which is going to prevent TA from potentially 2-shotting him.
Yep.
But that does push Limp ahead. He was behind, now he's set. Like, those crucial kills there.
Well, he found the cause. Like, he found, like, those heroes, and they're all his, too. Like, no one else was there for him.
Yeah, he got a lot of gold out of that fight.
Yep.
And that's okay, considering Alliance has basically all the items they need on most of their heroes. Loda could get ganked here, though.
Well, yeah, with a raw mind control right behind him, and that's going to be Loda walking away with Enrage.
Yeah, at that point, if he gets Enrage off, their damage is done. Looks like they use their spells well, but just very close damage.
I want to point out 2 items right now. One is the Beastmaster Necrobook. We don't get to see this very often, so it's kind of pulling out something which is a little bit more classic.
Are you joking? Okay. I just wanted to make sure, because, you know, I know you're 4K, you talked about it earlier. I just didn't want you to embarrass yourself on stream.
It's fine, bro.
That's why I'm here. Can I grab Mind Control top? He doesn't have roar as well, so
it was the Eagle song. Is the other one.
Oh, he's going to die to the reload. I know it's just Kuro. Actually, did he mess up? Oh, the Morphling just died. You know, some fun's also going to go down. Chronos Sphere on Hanskin. That's all right. I'm slightly confused by some of these abilities. It looks like Crow did try to save Morphling, but didn't quite get there in time. Unfortunately, I'm sure he was actually probably distracted by the fight top, possibly looking there. And then as a result didn't save Morphling. Could have been a huge swing there instead.
Yeah, what do you think about the TA with the Eagle song? Like, are we looking at Butterfly? Are we looking at E-Blade? Like, what's the go here?
There's no way he'd make E-Blade.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
With the TA, it's already kind of bad. I would say it is bad. And with an Ursa as well, there's just no way. It has to be a Butterfly.
But why Butterfly over something more like that crit damage you get from Limp?
Because it guarantees that Void's going to have trouble hitting you. Normally, Void's building something else right now. If you can kind of buy it when people don't expect it as well, as you can see, Void built Yasha. Now, if he wants this, if he sees that item and he starts building MKB, he's starting from scratch. So it's definitely unpredictable. Basically, most people expect TA to get the Daedalus, but then if you ever do any damage to TA, she just dies. So I think this is a good way to adjust to it. You buy Butterfly, hits that miss you aren't going to proc Refraction, so it's like so much extra survivability, really. I mean, even just a wimpy Wisp right-click can break a Refraction charge, so the chance of blocking that or dodging that can be the difference from you taking 500 or 400 damage or something from a Morphling Adaptive Strike or things like that, if you happen to have that extra Refraction charge. It's really good, and it forces Morphling as well. If he gets a Manta style, his illusions are missing. He's going to have to buy an MKB potentially. Just such a good item this game, both Morph and Void. Don't buy MKB.
Loda trying to go onto Miracle. Miracle going to get bashed up. He needs to get, like, perma-bashed. That's the only way that works for Loda.
Well, eventually you would get the kill, you know, if Morphling does stay there too long, but he was probably hoping that there was a support in the area. It would have been great if Hanskin was there, but he's sitting around the Roche area. That's always really frustrating for me, at least when I'm playing cores. I just wish I had the right tool there, and I need my allies to have that foresight and be there. So, you know, perhaps we can blame Hanskin for that one rather than sitting where he is. Would have been nice. If all he needed was Static Storm, that would have been a kill. Maybe.
Something that can hold him there and not just jump away.
Exactly.
Mr. Escape Morphling.
Except for last time. I don't know what happened there, but he died.
Yeah, we were watching somewhere else on the map when that happened.
That's super boring, Beastman. And then we had to listen to you confirm that you weren't actually just bad.
Yeah. We can move on from that.
We will.
Wonderful.
So Limp does finish his Butterfly. Another great thing about this, attack speed. It's fantastic. Can dish out the refraction damage even faster.
It's like Liquid are getting ready to force any an engagement in mid. They 4-man smoked up. They're behind Miracle. So they're looking for Unison Farm or Limp to attack.
Yeah. Once Batrider gets 4-staff, they can try to be aggressive again to break some of these Lincolns when he goes for the lasso, but it's going to be a bit until that moment.
With the creep wave pushing in through the top, Alliance, like they're 1-man down. They've sent the TA up there to take care of it. The Hawk getting caught off was probably also not part of the plan.
Mind Control looking for a roar, but they saw the front. Oh, they actually scanned there. Spotted the movement. When you see a Hawk scouting, you should definitely be scared. Oh, they can see me. Maybe they're going to go in right now. Occasionally using a scan like that is a great movement. So it is going to be Manta style and Faces Void. Most likely so you can remove some disables. Make it a little bit harder for Batrider to guess the right one too. You know, they're smoking, doing a bit of a wraparound actually. TA's not going to be in the area though.
I wonder if they're going to find like a real opening. The best one they've got is Matomaman sitting in the tree lines close. Unison farming the Firefly. Matomaman jumps away in time.
If he had a 4-staff, that could have been a kill.
Oh, into the storm. Can they hold him there? You've still got the extra help from Bulba. He just put the false promise down. Bulba gets evaporated to the back lines, but Matomaman, as he had the life, he's got the Chronosphere. He caught Miracle in the edge of him. He's got Kuro helping him out. They need more damage to be applied as well. That Faces Boy didn't last much longer after Chrono wore off. And EGM's on the run. The boar's slowed up a little bit by the TA traps. As Kuro hunting for Loader, he has to blink away from the balls, but he's going to come close towards the creep wave. Oh, he also comes close towards a Morphling, so he does die at the end of the day.
He actually did look fine there, but Morphling ended up saying, I'm not going to get any chases here. Let's relocate back and guarantee the kill. Loda really caught that close, but he didn't have a TP. He knew that if he TP'd into the trees, he's probably caught, so he needed to like actually swing back to his base. And unfortunately for him, the Morphling illusion was in the right place. Guarantee the kill. So, decent fight. If Unison Farm did add a 4-staff, though, that would have been a much easier Void kill. They would have caught him when he's at the small camp. He would have pulled him to the right instead, which would have meant that he's farther away from his team for help. It's just
he's gonna have that item for the next fight. With the farm he's getting on bottom lane right now, he's going to have to cash for it all.
Yeah, he will, but
EGM.
Every fight is important.
Oh. EGM.
Invisible.
Glimmers away on 170 life.
That's why he held that self, guys. He's ready. Actually, kind of a good item to have at this point.
Glimpse. Yeah, they find mind control.
They don't actually want to
the tower's already gone.
Oh,
Way! They jump in, they get the lasso off. Hanska's time very quickly to the Morphling. So it's a 1-for-1 trade-off. They try and buff up Limp and try and get him to fight. It was a Bloodlust multicast on him. And Ursa's hot in the trail.
Well,
they can see the replicate. So if they can, they're trying to find on multiple sides. So Miracle's never way out. They need that Bashy waveforms and replicates out at the same time.
That was actually pretty close. If they did get the bash on him there, they could have possibly killed him. Unison Farm was trying to kill it. It was just an IO illusion, but not quite in time. But again, they guaranteed themselves Roche. This is the 3rd time. This goal really adds up. It's around equivalent to getting a tower kill. Not to mention the experience you get from it.
Yeah, and the fact this is the 3rd Roshan. Like, with 28 minutes in, you get the 3rd Roshan. You got Cheese and Aegis to work with in the next engagement for Alliance.
That as well. In the last fight, they lost it because Ursa actually died first. Because they thought, oh, Ursa's going to be fine. TA is surely the one that's in trouble. That was when Limp got that triple kill. And this time, they both have the heal, basically.
Yeah, Limp's the one with the Aegis.
It's a little safer. Loda has more solutions to not dying. He can press his ulti. You know, he can run faster. He's got a blink dagger. Once TA gets into the fight, she's pretty much committed.
That's where the rest of Alliance have to go with her. It's not as though they actually have like a... Oh, okay, Kuro. Goes up to TP. Oh, they get in.
Diffusal Blade, Glimpse, all that good stuff. I don't know if they blew up the trap or... Oh, no, I think it was a fresh trap is what they did. So he knew that they could see him. Orb of Venom on our side. He's not making Scotty.
Well, he could do it with all the stats.
It'd be okay, actually, because it does give you good kiting. Basically, control over kiting. And both Morphling and Faces Void can be obnoxious in that way.
But is it better than getting an Aghanim Scepter?
Nah, he's buying an Ogre Club, so it could be Ags. I would say...
Because he's still got BKB, he's still got Ags, he's still got what?
It's probably BKB, to be honest. He still has to worry about Roar, obviously, in Chrono, but there is still so much magic damage. And the eventual point when Morphling will get an E-Blade, that you'll need that protection to just make sure you're not slowed, nuked heavily.
So the Orb of Venom, he just dropped it because he had it before. That's fair enough.
Probably. Maybe he's just saying, like, I don't need that 130. Should I do math on stream? No, I'm not. I don't know how to divide 275 by 2. that's hard.
137.5.
Toby, you're better than me.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
This will be the last time. I will practice math.
It will be the only time. You gotta watch Countdown, man. Watch Countdown. You're here in England, you gotta watch Countdown.
Okay.
That'll help you.
Limp going back to the bot lane. No new items for him. He's got 2,700 in the bank though. Unless I'm missing something. Oh, it is gonna be a Lincoln's. Okay. I like that choice. I was hoping he'd get something generic stat because his HP is a little low. Plus, every bit of HP you buy once you have a butterfly makes your butterfly even better. So.
But is it like what is he really looking to block here? Like
Roar is great. Most Oracle skills are great. Fate's Edict would prevent him from attacking.
But if you see the build coming out,
from
Miracle, he's not even going for an E-Blade. It looks like he's actually going for like this big, heavy hitting Morphling.
That's fine. I think he's more, just genuinely more worried about the Roar or Fate's Edict or something like that. That's what he should be at least concerned with.
Well, that's some heavy movement from Alliance coming to the top. Kuro trying to hold in the tree line. Yeah, he's scouted out by Unison Farm as he'll be dragged away. Kuro still with Ghost Scepter as well as TP. Potentially can tether himself down by the Flame Break and the Glimpse being committed. So two ways that Kuro is not getting out of that one.
Very dead hero. And nice find by Unison Farm. Knew that they're split pushing. Io's going to be hiding in the trees there, and Bat gives you such a good solution against that. Just Firefly through trees.
His scan position was also really nice. It was inside the lane, so if Liquid was going to bail out of that, they'd know about it. There's your Roar. And
He just died so fast all of a sudden.
Yeah. What was the cause of that? Was that the Necros hitting
probably.
in hard?
Yeah, they mana burned him, obviously, and when you mana burn, you do bonus damage. And yeah, all the creeps started slapping him, and then I think Morphling slapped like once. He was like, dead. Something like that. That was incredible. Just dead. Ursa's armor's not that amazing, actually. He's actually an agility-based hero, but his agility gain is far worse than his strength. So most Ursas actually don't buy an armor item mid-tier, like something like an AC. So he's actually very vulnerable in that way.
I wonder if that's like when he can I finish up the BKB and then go into an AC for his team or something like that. If this game goes late, yeah. And it looks like it's going to go late.
That's the issue. He needs both of those items. Ursa is definitely an item slot starved hero.
But that's why he's meant to also have momentum behind him, but he doesn't have the momentum. All the momentum is in the hands of the TA and the Morphling. These guys are going neck and neck around the 20k net worth mark.
Ooh. Good item pickup by Morphling, also playing the butterfly game now. Good luck, TA.
It's the big game late hitter, EGM. Glimmer capes forward, the 3 times multicast. Really they're going to keep the Storm in there, but then again, Kuro in the neighborhood to save the day. Your friendly neighborhood IO.
They will take that free kill at least. They've got Glimpse ready.
Is Kuro going to the TP?
They're fighting.
Oh wait, he brings Miracle back. They waveform forward looking for the kill. EGM Glimmer capes himself defensively.
It's really nicely done by Hanskin there. He's diving. Break his Lincolns.
They're bringing a lot of people. Mind control. Blinks forward. The Roar on EGM. They control him.
Oh, the damage.
Explodes. Matumba. I mean, now Loda tries to fight. He gets the cheese off the Chronosphere. Decent target as well. Allowing Miracle to attack from outside. The Flame Ray pushes Miracle inside the Chronosphere while Bulba trapped on the hillside thanks to that lasso. But Limp will drop a triple kill for Miracle. Bulba, he'll end up surviving and to actually die after the engagement is done. And to correct myself, that was in fact the offlaner. That was mind control that got exploded.
Yeah, he died pretty fast there. But the important thing was the Chronosphere that came onto the Ursa, actually. Like, Ursa just keeps dying at the start of these fights, and it's because there's too much physical damage coming out of Liquid now. And his Diffusal Blade was useful, and they kind of needed the Basher, but the Basher hasn't gotten him many kills in the mid-game. A little unluckily, maybe some blame could go towards his allies to not be there to set up follow-up disables, but
the Courier Hunt.
He's not accelerating anymore, that's the problem.
What the hell was on that Courier? That was 3.1k net worth. It was a full Diffusal Blade from a Tumberman.
Perfect item with
Loda's looking for some exit kills if he can find a Miracle being dragged back in. They got the Storm back up against a Miracle locked in, but again Kuro tries to tether in and just doesn't relocate him out. He stands with him, allowing this Morphling to be a beast. And do they have anything else? Like, they still have to get through. He's at 3.9k. In comes your relocate. Kuro brings over Matumberman this time around.
Gotta kill him.
With the Diffusal Blade, they can burn through. They try and lock down Limp. They're taking away the damage. Miracle.
They got him.
Finally, he goes down. Batrider will end the streak here with a Firefly coating the field. It will allow Limp to fight. The Necrobooks, they push him away. Is there enough damage? The Necrobook is chasing. He jumps down. He finds mind control. Limp will get the double kill. The positional play this time perfect from Limp. And they may even get more. TobiWan's on the run. The time dilation, trying
the
to make
force.
it difficult with a 4-star forward. Fun keeps the Firefly on the back, and then basic attack in. That'll find the kill. And Alliance, well, it pays off. They only had to buy back for what? The Ursa in that last fight?
There was a lot of buybacks, I think.
Oh, we had one from
two,
TA and we
yeah.
had one from the Ursa. Okay, so it was expensive, but they still lost them in racks.
They had to win that fight, though, and it finally happened. Once the IO hit the deck, everything changed, and the Morphling especially. The real guy that's difficult to kill, he was completely morphed into strength, and the other benefit is that as you morph into strength, you lose more and more armor, so eventually TA does more and more damage. So you just have to get him into that long duration period where he's already used his ulti, the IO doesn't have relocate, and just keep on working on him. So if they can get through that without getting Chronosphere kill on their carries, then eventually TA will have the magic happen. And it turns into a Demon Edge, and pretty soon it's going to be an MKB, and that's when Liquid really has to start worrying.
It's interesting because just before Miracle bought the Hurricane Pike just then, he bought a helmet of the Dominator.
Really?
I think he was worried about his sustain in the upcoming fights because he's only got one more item slot to fill. So that's either Aegis or that's question mark item.
Yeah, could be E-Blade, could be an MKB of his own.
Yeah, does he need an MKB so he can deal with, like, directly with...
I don't think that's priority number one, personally. I think I would rather get a Scotty maybe on the Morphling. It's kind of hard to say. You either get, like, reliable damage or you continue to increase your HP. Because if he gets a Scotty on top of what he has, his HP goes up massively. He doesn't have to morph as often. And he's pretty much completely shutting down the Ursa at that point. Because if he just gets on top of the Ursa, uses Manta, Ursa's not getting away. He's dead. Dead hero. And because Ursa's items haven't scaled, Ursa's becoming more and more useless. He can't even like go for cores anymore. He kind of has to like hope that his team gets a disable on Void, and then he's there to blow that hero up because he's definitely the biggest damage hero.
Yeah.
For best Void solution right now.
And he can always just have faith in his supports too. Like they're trying to be there to help him out. Like Koro was able to buy up a Vladimir's offering after that last engagement, so they're going to add that aura to the next engagement.
It's great with a Morphling, really good. And yeah, he sold his Aquila, picked up the helm. There it is. So it will be a Satanic.
Okay, full sustain.
Really good once he finishes it. Until then, it's okay. Can scout, stack Ancients if you really want to. More armor. The lifesteal is really good.
Everyone's having a little bit of a peek. They're waiting for Roshan. Wow, look at the look at that graph.
It's been a really good game.
How does that change so quickly? Like, oh, okay, Alliance,
when heroes die.
They had their advantage at the start, and they threw it away over the course of a 2-minute drawn-out 1x1 by 2 by fight. But Liquid, they just snapped that around.
And the fights have been getting better. If Limp goes down at the start, that's when everything changes. And he's not that much stronger. He's only got the Demon Edge still.
And he's still got buyback on cooldown. Another thing to keep in mind, even if you do have the money, like Alliance, they still will not have their 2 big cores. It's another 3-ish minutes until they both have it. So the Morphling, waveforms in, Manda's up, takes out the tower, and then just bails out. Mind control, the Roar. They find Loader. They just want to one of the cores, and they've got him.
Just so vulnerable, and that constantly has to worry about that. This could be the whole fight.
Yusufan instantly time locked. The chrono is perfect.
Not
EGM
the best.
caught in it, but Limp, the damage output. He bought a fresh MKB just as he was jumping in. EGM, he'll go down to Miracle, and the question will now be, can Limp actually win this fight?
No
The wall is up. Limp can't do the damage. It's an ultra kill for Miracle. Koro's got his hand like
that could be
helping. Limp, he's in, and Limp, the damage with the Fountain. He's trying to take it, but it's a rampage for Miracle. Mind control gets out, and Alliance will call it GG. They will bow to the power of the tsunami. Liquid win it in 39 minutes.
What an absolutely close game. Despite how one-sided that looked at the end, that fight could have gone completely different. They just really needed Loda's performance in the mid to late game. He got picked off a few too many times. Yep. He kept going on the cores, and the Chronosphere would guarantee his death. He needed to get his BKB online, and either he needed to get kills with his Basher, or he needed to buy a BKB right there, because it would have covered him in so many other deaths.
It seemed to be the game plan of the team, though. Like, we have to get together, we have to keep fighting, we don't give them space to farm, to breathe, to let all the heroes come online, because that's really what ended up happening. Like, the Morphling had the dream fight.
Yeah, then
the dream progression.
Just every time they tried to kill Morphling, it didn't quite work out. It would always be close, but it wouldn't happen. And because of that, Ursa, if he's not fighting heroes and getting kills, he's not accelerating as much. Limp had a lot more success solo getting kills. It was just always Ursa that died. And he was the one that could potentially carry the team, but you got to have him in the fight. and they didn't have that. I mean, they still should never have lost those mid-game fights in the first place, obviously, but by the end of the game, Limp had a great performance. Loda had an amazing start of the laning stage. Him and EGM just played perfect, but the mid-game fights was all Liquid, really, and Miracle never stopped being good from the start to the end.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of hope if you're an Alliance fan, the fact that you can see Alliance properly thinking out their drafts, especially the laning phase. You give them massive props for that. They definitely put Liquid on the back foot from the very, very start, but it reveals the errors, and we're going to have a look at these errors right now. This is actually, well, the great
one smoke.
It's the great start that Alliance can have. Being creative, doing something different, doing something unusual, and not letting Liquid just understand the pace of the game and just play the pace of the game.
Yeah, this is 4.5 minutes, by the way. This is Mind Control, level 3. He's got one last hit at this point. It was a really good laning stage for Alliance, and he ate the tango, moved out of the way so Loda could come through and get the kill. Beautiful play by both of those guys, absolutely shutting down Mind Control. And TobiWan at this point thought with time dilation it would be enough to guarantee the trade effectively, but he leapt forward with that one, and there was no Oracle to be seen, just walking back to lane right now. Yep. And Some able to get that kill. Just amazing laning performance from Alliance here. This is one of the first big fights. Actually, it was the big fight, actually.
Yeah, this is the one where Miracle just got so aggressive, and you're seeing the IO finally doing his work.
I thought he was dead here.
Yeah, well, it was the timing. It's this coming in right now. TobiWan saying hello, and a lockdown. Take the TA out of play. The second that glimpse back happened as well from Hans, I'm like, okay, this is over. Because Kuro was already tethered to TobiWan, but Miracle, Strength Morph is an amazing ability. But this is where it all fell apart.
Yep. They set up on the Ursa. They also had the Boar there to permanently slow him afterwards. He was dead leading up into this point, and they took the fight anyways because most of their heroes were here.
It just, it baffles me that this kind of goes the way it does. Like, okay, you kill off Bulba. At this point, you potentially could have just, count your losses out. But they jumped in, and Miracle had so many one charges saved up.
They should have actually not dove there. They had 3 dead heroes at the time. They thought they had the heroes to try to go for it. Limp ends up dying for his second time, I believe, after the laning stage. And this set Alliance back so much. And then they are all so low, they said, whatever, we can get some of these guys. They were able to kill Mind Control in the initial burst, but after that, they said, get the last one, but time dilation again, limiting their ability to cast spells. They weren't able to get Kuro. EGM gets killed. Hanskin said, for sure, I can get the kill, right? But then the bashes happened. He didn't catch him in the ulti, and just was like the 8th hero that died in that fight. And Loda as well did the same thing.
Yep.
Hops in, tries to get the kill, ends up getting punished by damage, can't get out, and so many heroes on Alliance died.
Both TobiWan and Miracle at the end of that fight, they both ended up being 6-1 after what was a very passive start to the laning phase kills-wise. Such an injection for 2 huge cores.
Yeah, and this is Alliance finally getting some good movement here. Limp on the top side, getting eventually 3 kills with this, while the carries on Liquid chasing the other support heroes on Alliance. He does pick up that IO kill as well to finish things off, so kind of an even fight, but really the start of Limp having a dominant farm advantage over Liquid and being a huge threat against many of their heroes.
It's kind of expecting him to be that threat to continue. You see just how much damage he did there. You destroyed the Beastmaster, you let Loda fight, but you didn't take out the big controlling factors. But TobiWan still got his Chronosphere off, he's still able to isolate the Ursa, and Limp just has to retreat.
Yeah, it's just, Ursa was just too weak to the physical damage at that point. He even had Enrage on there, and it looked like he was taking normal damage.
This here is the point where you're like, oh, okay, Kuro is just going to relocate him out. Kuro actually starts to TP to get himself out this one before he relocates back in again. Takes all the damage, proves just how hard it is to kill Miracle.
It's like the one time it actually looked promising. Limp was eventually able to get the kill, but actually it was Barrett to finish him off. Morphed everything he could, and Limp cleaned up the rest of the fight quite well.
Yeah.
Eventually. That butterfly just looked so effective. The amount of attack speed that Limp had, plus the bloodlust on top of that, just it's fantastic.
And he still has the burst because of the beauty of Meld.
Yeah.
But this is the last big off. This was it. After 2 buybacks were expended, you lose Loda back where the racks used to be.
This damage looks so promising there, but 2 heroes dead at the start of the fight means that it's almost impossible. And with EGM dying,
yeah,
maybe he kills him here. I was a little unsure. I thought he should have fought that personally. Especially, he actually was not strength morphine.
Judging by the fact that the GG came out so quickly after this, I think Alliance was already sitting there talking about saying, I think the game is done.
Yeah.
Like, the game is lost, and Lim's like, well, I may as well protect my stats. Like,
But you can get stats by killing somebody, not giving them a rampage.
that is true. That is true. Maybe he's just there to help Miracle out.
Possibly, yes. That's just trying to get him back into form. He's like, look, man, I know you've been having a little bit of issues with Liquid. You haven't been on OG form. Let's give you some confidence. And that's a series like that can definitely do it.
Yeah, man,
But
I can't wait for the next series.
It's honestly good for both teams, though. Alliance, I think they showed better than they have recently. And obviously Liquid moving on. Good for both.
It's definitely good for the future. Next series coming up after the break. We actually have a birthday boy in the next series. It shall be revealed in the next one, but it'll be Secret going up against Escape, and then we'll wrap up our day with OG versus Empire. So don't go anywhere. Fantastic Dota coming to you from, it is the FACEIT Dota2 Invitational.